Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Go ahead.
Welcome to Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss that this is a 6th show, but we're talking about how we got onto the shows. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with Kathy Cole and Bon Nieters.
Hey gang, what's up? Hey, Luke couldn't make it. It was done.
Luke definitely tapped out.
Luke was, he was like, he wanted no part of that. Yeah,
he lives with the War Department.
Too much pappy.
You don't know about that.
Yeah.
So here's also the thing. They're on Mountain Time, so it's much earlier there than it is here.
He's probably still got an evening he's going on for.
Too many mountains.
So
he's heading out. He's heading out for probably a drink with the War Department. So, so we're going to be talking today. Everyone's going to share how they think they got on the show, and then I'll say from my perspective, because in reality, that's really how you got on the show.
So actually, I think this is fun to be like, Evan got here because KK got here because I got here because, and see our versions versus Steve's versions. I think
but we got to start with Von Nieters because he's the youngest.
He's the youngest. Well, we'll go in reverse order. We'll have Von Nieters go first, then Kathy, then McNew. When we get to that part of the show, which will be after the break. So we'll talk about that, and we'll get their perspective on why they think they got on, because it's interesting because it does all come down to, I mean, who ends up on the shows? Well, I'm the one who invites people, and I'm the one who invites you each time, and it's not an accident. It's like, oh man, I hate Von Nieters being on the show, but if I don't like Von Nieters being on the show, he'll just never be on the show again. It's simple. It's a simple formula. There's
times that I thought that had happened.
There's nobody I don't have on the show or that I want on the show, and there's the vice versa. I'm not putting people on here I don't want to have on here. So, and then there's some I've given the benefit of the doubt where they're annoying, but I keep going, and then I'm just finally give up at some point. I'm like, no, it's just never going to get better. So,
also I've been here for years, right? And there's sometimes Steve will send me a script on a Wednesday, and I'm like, God damn it, why is that person on?
Right.
I don't like to be like that, but I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But then there's other weeks where I'm like, yeah, put my favorite people on, and I get so excited.
The only thing I ever had with McNew that one time when she kept bailing out on the shows, we would do Fridays, we do 5 shows, and she quit, 3 shows in, 4 shows in, and then finally it got the one where she just came on for 15 minutes of the first show.
I would like to actually thank McNew for that, because every opportunity I had, I jumped in and I co-hosted that show.
And finally, after that last one where McNew was 15 minutes, I'm not sure. Maybe you don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what's going on. You don't have to do it anymore if you don't want to.
I was really just not in a good place. I was not.
It happened 4 weeks in a row, and I was like, I don't want you to force you to be on here if you don't want to be on here. We can still be friends. You don't have to be on here. But
October of 2022, and I was not good.
So what do they call that when your boss gives you a plan to get better?
Oh yeah, the
performance improvement plan.
It's a
She was on the PIP. She was on the PIP program.
She got a PIP and she stepped up and
if you remember, Kathy, you remember
better ever since.
Kathy, you remember that because I think you were on both of those series of shows when she quit after 15 minutes. And then the next week when I sent the note, I finally was like, what's going on here? Are we not doing this anymore? And then McNew took it we did 5 shows and McNew did all 5 and was like sober during all 5. And it's like not the McNew I want. I want fun McNew to be on, but she was like, I'm not bailing out of this show. She was. So then at least that I knew she was serious and wanted to do it. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know she just wanted to quit. And then,
No, I was not okay.
Well, we're just so glad you're okay and that you hung in there.
Yeah, hung in there. Yeah, there you go. All right. Now, Von Nieters, you said there's something you wanted to talk about. Small talk. What do you got? Was it McNew? It was McNew said she had something. It was not Von Nieters.
We're doing like the small talk?
Yeah, small talk.
Okay. So, do you guys remember, Von Nieters may not, but Steve and KK will, when in the 90s, you had movies that had like 2 VHS tapes, right? Like, Titanic was one. Lonesome Dove was another. I watched that with my dad all the time. And like, we would happily get up, fucking rewind it to put in the new one. I would never do that in this day and age, right? Like, I would never. I would stream it. I'm not watching it. But like, what was your thing that you're like, this is 4 hours long and I am glued to the TV? I think is my question. Like, what would keep you there for 4 hours in this day and age? Because I like
this day and age.
I don't want to be there for a long time. But
you don't want to watch 4 hours?
I don't. But
if Quentin Tarantino did a 4-hour movie, I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
But here's the thing: I binge TV shows, and I will get more than 4 hours in easily.
Yeah,
easily. Me too.
No, so I'm with you on that because I rewatched like Shameless. I rewatched Shameless last year.
Shameless is great.
It would be like 5 hours in an evening. And I'm like, God damn, it's 1 a.m. I should go to bed. And I started at 7. And I'm like, I won't. But for a movie, though, what movie would get you stuck like that?
I have an embarrassing
or Quentin Tarantino for me.
Confession to make.
Okay.
When the Lord of the Ring movies came out.
Sure.
I went by myself because I didn't want distractions, and I went to the movies and I wanted to immerse myself in the experience and just be there. And those were long movies. And then I bought the extended versions and I watched them again.
Of course.
They have intermission during those?
No.
Take it on your own accord to go.
Yeah.
But there's an app that you can get called Run P.
No, I don't want that.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a good app.
It's a good app. I like it.
I never have to pee during.
No, we got the pause button now.
Hours,
We got the pause button now.
Yeah.
I like the
come on. Hold it, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Piss in a bottle.
Yeah, piss in a bottle if you have to.
Oh, well, I mean, it would be good to have
but then I get kicked out of the movie theater.
No, just sit in the back.
Nah, just go to Ronnie's. They allow it.
Yes, fine, whatever.
It's low class at Ronnie's. You can go there and do that.
They allow it.
They allow it. I don't care.
I love being a woman. I love being a girl. But like sometimes when I have to pee, I'm like, God, I really wish I had a fucking dick. Like, God, I can just pee in a bottle and live my life. No,
pee in a bottle and just live your best life. That's the key to living your best life. You can pee in a bottle.
It's not that easy.
Good girl sometimes.
No.
So seriously, McNew. Okay, never mind. I know the
No.
You get out of the bus and you pee in the garden.
You know, like, so I think what ruined me is working from home. Because I can just like,
oh my God, she was ruined.
They ruined her.
She's ruined.
They ruined me. So I'm like, I just get up and like go pee when I gotta pee. Like, I don't like to be uncomfortable. Like, and you know, when you have to hold it for a minute.
We all watched it from the bus in Key West.
And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna look for a bathroom. I'm just gonna pee where I want to pee. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable in my own body. I'm just gonna go pee. I don't care.
So I've been driving home from a bar before and thought to myself, I'm not gonna make it. But I have this big cup in my car. And there are no bathrooms around. So I pee in the cup.
I'm absolutely not doing that. I am pulling over to the side of the road, and I think this is a story.
I live in a city.
I've got poison ivy because I was like, I'm just gonna pull over and.
So the cup's still in there. So
Right.
say I'm driving with you the next day. I'm
I can take the
drive
cup
away.
and pour it out on the parking lot.
All right.
There's still urine remnants in there. So I'm in your car and I'm like,
that gets thrown out.
All right. All
what's
right.
that? Okay, so you're throwing out the cup. There's a big cup, but it's a changed cup. It's not always the same cup.
No.
It's like I'll
will
pee in the cup. I'll pour it out. I'll leave the cup. I will litter.
Okay.
No.
But I'm not going to get out and publicly urinate.
Okay, so
I will pee. I have peed in a
we got
field
questions here, McNew.
ivy, and I had it in the worst places. That wasn't a fun time for me.
So back to so you pee in your cup. So you got the cup. It's your emergency cup. You're not expecting to use it, but then all of a sudden the urge is there. You know,
Emergency.
So then you litter. So
I litter.
which you're against.
No, she doesn't.
No, I do litter. I litter.
She does litter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
She litters. So then when you leave there, is the next place to go get a new cup so you have it for the next time you have to go, or are you going home and thinking next time I go out I got to get a new cup?
The hope, Steve, I've got this. The hope, Steve, is that I've learned my lesson and that I will urinate in the bar before I go home and not have to do that again, or find a field.
Find a field.
The field
Don't be in the city. Don't be in the city when you have to pee.
so you didn't learn your lesson. No, you didn't learn anything.
No.
I'm really sorry, listeners.
So is this this involves a stop, I hope, right? There's a
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't drive and pee.
you
I'm
can't
not a
drive
boy.
and pee.
Good thing we've got our prisoners picking up your piss cups, Kathy.
It's okay. No, like if
It's
you
in the
have to
parking lot.
stop and pee, why
It's a
are you
parking
getting a cup? Just pee on the ground.
Yeah, thank you, McNew.
So why are we
Don't-
doing that?
Because there are
That's
lights.
extra plastic.
She wants to do it in the car and then just cut right. That's the bottom line, right, Kathy?
I'm
You're
No.
pissing
The
actually in the car.
privacy of the stall formation of my car.
No.
No.
We gotta
So
let it all hang out.
I get that. I'm opening the back door and the front door. I'm in between, but I'm squatting on the ground. I'm not going to pee in a cup if I have to already pee on the ground. I'm not doing that. But also, I will pee on my pants, so I have to take everything off. I am like bare bottom
God.
out there. Like
On the
taking
way
everything
home then?
off.
Then you head home in the nude?
Yeah. I'm taking everything
So
off.
have you ever had to Donald Duck it on the way home? You have the shirt on and you're driving down
Yeah,
the
Winnie
pits
the
to head
Pooh.
home?
Also, Winnie the Pooh.
Jeez.
Like,
She's Donald Ducking on the way home. She's all driving around.
Winnie Pooh's her way home. Oh my gosh, no.
With no pants because she's mitigated her
That's
slacks.
hilarious.
no, not
This
the,
is why we do 6 shows.
I
That's
know,
hilarious.
so I take everything off. Everything. And I
Everything.
It's gotta be
Take your makeup off too.
No, you
Podcast
pissed
all
on
the
your
time.
pants, but you got to take your shirt and bra off too.
No,
Well,
she's talking about, like,
first
her
she
pants
sets up
and
the
her
tripod.
shoes.
that stays on. The everything bottom comes
And the
off.
shoes.
Okay.
Who's
So
coming?
Then
back
she's-
to Donald
Hey,
Duck or Winnie the Pooh.
Then she sets up the camera.
Winnie the Pooh.
She's Winnie the Poohin'. Okay.
Okay, Winnie the Pooh, camera, OnlyFans. Where else? Where are we going?
You know, I could quit my
Did
real
we
job if I did
Pop
that.
corks yet?
That's
Oh, we're popping
We're
corks.
having fun here. We're having fun here.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever? I don't. But have you ever walked out in either nude or in your underwear into your garage because it's outdoor, but it's also indoor, so it feels.
Oh yeah,
It feels kind of empowering, right? It's like
I've done it butt ass naked with the garage
yeah.
open.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Jesus Christ.
No. So also,
You asked the question, Steve.
Why are
Yeah,
butt-ass
you asked the
naked in
question.
your
I've done it
Why are you butt ass naked in your garage?
because I'm getting ready to get in the shower, and I had to make a cocktail before I get in the shower.
Well,
Why
what
is
that
your
about
cocktail
car for?
equipment in the garage?
Yeah, in the garage.
Huh?
Why is your cocktail equipment in the garage?
That's where I keep my fridge. That's where my garage fridge is. That's where the garage fridge
Why does
is.
the garage door have to be up when you're doing this?
Because my wife forgets to shut it when she gets home.
but I get the in
And so
the
I go
back-
out there and I grab a cocktail and I go, I guess what? I just walked out. I go, I guess what? The neighbors just saw. I walked out there naked because you left the garage open.
Don't
It's
care.
her fault.
Yes.
It's her fault.
It's not her fault.
Don't act like you didn't do the same
Mrs.
thing when you walked out in the
It's not
garage
your
with your
fault.
underwear on.
Well, I was actually in the house, but the wife came in, should have closed the garage and then opened the door because she knew I was
Okay.
disrobing. She knew I was disrobing.
It's
right
her
there.
fault, right?
It's her fault. It was her.
Okay.
She knew. She
You're on
knew.
the same boat.
She knew.
We're on the same boat.
My thing is my back deck, because I have a 6-foot privacy fence, but deck is like 3 feet up, right? So I'm like, if I want to be like pantless on my back deck, you may or may not see something.
Oh
my
my
drone.
gosh.
I go out onto my back patio in t-shirt and underpants on the regular.
I have a funny story about that.
About Kathy going out on her deck?
No, about me going out on my deck. I was
Oh.
pissing off my back deck the other day, and my wife was like, "You can't be doing that during the day. The neighbor's outside." And he walked around the corner while I was pissing. It was dangerous. I had to cut that shit off real quick.
Oh, and it stings too.
It hurts. That's
Oh, it
painful.
stings.
That's painful when you got to cut it off.
I have a pool, so I'm out there all the time. Like
You're pissing in the pool.
No, I'm not pissing in the pool.
You
But I'm
piss in your pool, McNew?
That's what puts in the pee in pool.
That's not what she's talking about. Psst, psst,
Oh.
psst.
This is like the nakedness of my neighborhood, right? So I'm like, okay, I will walk up
Nakedness.
my back deck in like a t-shirt and underwear if the dog needs to go out. But like I also have a pool, so I'm out there like in a bikini all the time. So I'm like, if I want to walk out in my underwear, how is that different?
How is that any different?
It's different.
Oh.
It's different.
Not different. But
Well, in
No,
my
it's
neighborhood,
no different.
Like
Yeah, it's
not
different.
No different
at
if you're
all
my
like
neighbor.
news.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me coming out there in my
Right.
bikini. So.
some people might be.
One time I saw my friend Gavin Bosco's wife's brassiere. She had him hanging up in the thing, and I was like, whoa.
So just
I never
the bra-
noticed until I saw that. And now I'm like, whoa.
Just the undergarment,
Yeah, the bra. Yeah, I
not
saw her
her
bra.
in it.
No,
Well,
she was
very-
in the bra. But I
Men
was
are-
like, yeah. I was like, huh, interesting.
Nope.
Men
So
are
did you
very
look
weak
the
at this
size?
when it comes to that stuff.
No, so we do
Did
have
you caress the cups?
No, I didn't. I was afraid to. Yeah.
He
And
did
like-
mentally.
Stiff?
He mentally caressed them.
Yeah,
I
no,
keep.
some-
There's a story.
Oh.
There's a story.
Oh,
That ties in kind of.
you're welcome for that, by the way. Wow. Hmm. I keep.
I keep. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yes. So, yes.
Huh.
I don't even know what we were talking about. How do we get here?
What are we
I don't
talking
even
about?
know if we pop
I-
Are we on the
out.
topic? Is
We
this
haven't popped
free?
out. We're not drinking
What are
yet.
we doing?
we-
I've
we're
I've been
still
drinking.
No,
But
you're
that-
not drinking. Stop it.
Like
Oh.
underwear are not different than swimsuits. Like the same parts.
Yeah.
Are
I've been out in my garage in my underwear, but it's always been closed. Other than that, well, I was in just in my underwear at the time too when the warden decided to open the door. But the garage door was open at that time, so I just felt it was empowering to go out in the garage in my
Yeah.
underwear. Yeah, yeah.
You know
so I was
what?
on the couch in my underwear. And I was like, oh, "Shit, I forgot that in my car." Just go
I
out
know.
there.
So
I was
like,
"Oh,
we
this
are
feels nasty," but
so,
yeah.
like some of our neighbors, and like Eric will be like, "Can I borrow something?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can come over. You can hang out." I'm like, also, it's like 8 o'clock, and I took my bra off, and she's like, "Me too," and I'm like, "We're just like fucking hanging out, and it's fine." But
Whoa, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
But
I love to just let it hang out. Yeah. Just gotta let it hang out.
Just let it
It's
hang
the
out.
best.
Hello, neighbor.
People like that. People like when you just let it hang out.
Like,
Sure. Sure. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with KK. She's very
I'm gonna
frustrated.
drink when I drank in 8th grade because that's where this conversation has gone.
Settle down.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry.
She doesn't even know where she's at.
I'm going.
Kathy.
No, I'm going to open up my Bananas Foster
Upside down label. Oh.
It's upside down.
my God, why is your upside down?
Okay, that was good.
Yeah.
That's good. That could be enough.
It sounded upside down.
It was a reverse cork pop because it was upside
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
It's like reverse osmosis.
yeah, yeah.
Label is label.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake, labeling mistake, and the legend assured me that he would get the replacement label put on there affixed immediately. Like,
Yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
That bottle is from the legend.
Nieters, what do you got?
I have a Russell's Reserve 13-year.
Okay. No. Kathy's was better.
Squeak.
Yeah, so much.
Settle down.
So much squeak.
You settle
Seagrass.
down.
Okay.
Seagrass. Last show pour of my seagrass. Though it's not going to finish the bottle. I can't finish the bottle. No. All right, here we go. No, I knew it wasn't going to be anything.
Squeak.
But the whiskey is so good.
I know. I just got this a week ago. Opening it up.
What? Where are you getting seagrass? I can't. I feel like it's hard to find now.
I was in my personal collection. Yeah, I've got seagrass.
I drank through all mine. All I've got is the expensive shit, and I don't want to drink that.
Right. Yeah. All right, McNew, you're last but not least.
Glass.
Not go find us
Full
bottle.
glass.
I'm gonna just do this Elijah Craig Twisted Barrel.
Okay.
Last show pour.
Last show pour. Here we go.
No, not quite there yet.
Oh, McNew, not quite there. You planning on another show? Or?
No.
No.
Show number 7. She's holding on for show number 7.
She's holding on
KK's
for
going to
number
push
You
seven.
for
would
it.
have to apologize to the audience.
KK's
Cheers,
pushing
gang.
for it.
Steve,
All right.
you and I have the same kind of glass.
We do. Mine's
Is that
stuffy.
the same?
Yours is beam. Yeah.
Mine
No.
is Jim Beam.
Yours is not the same.
No, yours is Glencairn.
Oh, that's a good shot right there.
Wait, stay.
That's like if you lived in a whiskey world right there. Yeah.
Look at this.
Stay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm talking like a dog.
Stay.
Sorry. All right, that was actually really cool.
All right.
Actually, kind of cool.
We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, I thought we had a topic. I don't remember what it was, though.
There's
Does anybody
something going
remember?
on. Something's happening.
Does anyone remember the topic we were going to do for this show?
McNew has a topic.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. That's right.
This is it. This is
Talk about
McNew's
first
show
shows.
about everyone else.
Perspectives of the people as well as my perspective of how it actually happened. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Solid cork pop.
And then I threw the cork, a solid cork drop.
Yeah, terrible cork pop. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily. I'm a big bourbon guy. It's you, McNew.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are mailing it in, but also talking about how we arrived at this show.
Yes, we are. So, we're doing a bonus 6 show, which we know those are some of our most professional shows. I guess we won't go to McNew. He's left the building, so she may or may not return. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Oh no, not already.
McNew's gone. She gone. Yeah. She put it on mute, and she's left.
I've got this.
Mute.
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily.
Yeah, mute tells me she's there's some sort of evacuation going on. She does not want us to hear. So yeah.
I like how the blanket on the bed looks like a dog.
Yeah, it does look like a dog, kind of the way it's laying there. All right, so we're gonna. Yeah, you got an actual dog there. Looks like a nice dog. Very very docile. Yeah, well, just happy to be there. Yeah, and it's like, oh, leave me alone, dude.
Yeah, she definitely is. She's like, I just want to sleep.
Right. Oh, kind of growled at you there, like, oh, leave me alone. She's like, you dick. That was a dick move.
Yeah, she's pissed. She's like, I just want to sleep.
Right.
So we are talking about
how we got on the show, and Von Nieters is going first.
Okay.
Oh, Kathy, you want to do this?
No, yeah, kick it off. Kick it off, KK. Let's go.
No, I'm not kicking it off. I wanted to give direction.
Okay.
So what the show is about is we're going to ask Von Nieters how he feels he got on the show, and then Steve is going to give his interpretation as the owner, director, and grand poobah of the show.
How he got hired. Okay. Go ahead, Von Nieters. Talk to us about your perception of the show.
So why I think I got on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I don't know. I think I bring an interesting, younger outlook on things, and the fact that I went to school with Steve's daughter and I made the exact same age, I think that has something to do with it. And I don't know. I feel like me and Steve also connect on some sort of level that is
that level?
Pretty interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like me and Steve just I don't know. We've got a lot in common, which is weird between having something that is somebody could be my father and I'm the age of his daughter. I don't know. I just we've got like I don't know, just a good relationship, and I love it. And it's not only a friendship, but it is also like I look up to him. So yeah.
Von Nieters is spot on. I mean, in reality, I get to decide who comes on the shows, and Von Nieters, it is special to me because of the fact that he comes in, and when he came in, he was a good customer from day one, but I didn't know this. I don't know the names like my wife does, but she was like, Kat went to school with an Evan Nieters. That's got to be him, right? And I'm like, I don't know. And it turns out it was. And, they went to school the whole time. So I felt this instant kinship with Von Nieters because, again, kind of a parental thing that, it feels like, I don't have a son. But if I had a son, Von Nieters, it's cool. He's into bourbon and whiskey and that type of thing. And, I definitely feel a bond to Von Nieters because he is the age of my kid. And, that's why initially, invite him on. I like the guy. And, and the fact that we do have things in common where, in reality, what we are is we're friends, but, there's this big age gap between us, but that's okay. That's okay. That's the cool thing about bourbon is you can have a big age gap, and the common bond is bourbon, but then you find out you got other things in common too. With Von Nieters and I, whether that is the fact that we're both from the same area and we both like to go to Florida, and there's a lot of other things too. But, it's definitely that thing there. That's what gets him on. And I tell you what, and Von Nieters certainly has grown into this role. He's one of my favorites on the show, for sure. And from day one, was he that? I feel like Von Nieters is a little bit quiet, a little bit of a shy guy, and I think that was kind of reflective in the first couple shows. But I think that he pivoted early on. By the second time I invited them, the second set of shows, I feel like the personality began to come out, and it's the Von Nieters that we know today. I do feel like he was a little bit nervous, maybe, or something, quiet the first time, but because I like him, I wanted him to succeed, so I invited him back on, and it's definitely been well worth it. So, yeah, that's how Von Nieters ends up here.
I think like Von Nieters.
Well, you hear him a lot.
Funny. Like he comes on and like he'll like, say something. I'm like, that's really fucking funny. Like Von Nieters is one of my favorites to have on Fridays.
Sure, me too, for sure. That's why he gets invited so much. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
it means a lot. Yeah, I mean, I love coming on these shows, and I love all you guys. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys saying that stuff. That feels good.
Yeah, it ends up everything that we do. I mean, I feel like the ABV network and the ABV Barrel Shop now, it ends up being a big family. But this is, with a family, you've got, you've got your direct family, and I feel like the people that are on the shows are the direct family, the ones that you're closest to, and then everyone else is kind of extended family. The people that you don't see all the time, but you might see just at Christmas or something like that. And that's what it's like with most of the other people that aren't on the show and stuff like that. So, but it's all, you need all of it to have what makes up a family for sure. So, and with a family, you get everybody. And there's some that you're really close to, and some you're like, that's not my type of person. But you know what? That's part of being a family too. Is you got the weird uncle, you got the uncle you really like, and you got the uncle that's like, that guy's kind of a tool. But you know what? It's all what a family is for sure. So that's what the ABV network is for sure. Yeah, Kathy, how about you? How did you get on this network?
So during COVID, I needed a social outlet, and I started Googling how can I talk about bourbon with people during COVID. And then I found Steve, and he would do Zooms.
Yeah.
But when I met Steve, we would go to a distillery in St. Louis, still 630, and they were doing experimentals. And he would interview people, and I would run to the microphone to get interviewed. And the fun thing was that he didn't want to interview the same people every week, so I would make up names. So like 1 week I was Nancy, the next week I was Lolita. I would make up names, and then I just said to him, I've been listening to the Bourbon Daily, and I have words. I'm not in the industry. I don't know anything, but I just want to talk about it. And he's like, yeah, sure. Okay. We'll give you a try.
Right.
So okay, you were already like bourbon, like you liked bourbon. You wanted to do bourbon. You wanted to find mutual friends in bourbon.
Oh yeah. I was bourbon immersed.
Right.
That.
That's awesome. Like I can't relate to that as much as you can. I came into the game later than you did, so like that's pretty cool to hear that. You came in wanting that.
I've never wanted to be like, I have favorite people, but like when KK started coming on, I'm like, I want her on all the time. Like,
oh, me too.
He's so fun. I love seeing KK. Bring her on all the time. Like, and there's other people where I was like, well, okay, they'll be here. But I'm like, oh my God,
I would hope that KK is not only our favorite, but everyone else's favorite too.
My big fear was that everyone was so smart about bourbon, and I had gone on. My thing was travel. I wanted to experience distilleries. I wanted to taste the product. I wasn't, it took me a while to go from American honey into actual bourbon.
Right.
But I just wanted to connect with people who enjoyed the same things that I did. And that was Steve.
I think that's really evident though, and it still is, like where you know more than the average people do, but like you still want to find people and bring them in, and you just want to like be like, I like this and I want to tell you about it. And I love like that passion. It's so fun to see.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing too, because I always just feel like we have a fee to join the crew club, and I think it's reasonable. And you may think, well, I'm established, I don't need to pay that. I think that the people have to be invested. I just feel like if you open it up where anybody can get in, everybody will get in, and then you get people who aren't invested, and that's also where you get to nasty thing. You open up open up a Facebook group, and just where it's open up to everybody, it's free. That's where you get the people that are just a-holes and stuff like that. I don't think we have any a-holes in our group because everyone's invested. Everyone's friends. It is this family dynamic, family atmosphere. And you know what? You can get into that. Once you join the family, here's how you can get into the inner circle of being an ABV Network Crew Club member. Join the Crew Club. And once you do, the people embrace the new people.
So
They welcome in.
I just want to talk a minute about the Crew Club.
Uh-huh.
I have met the Robinsons. I met the Legend. Danny.
Don't slack on the Robinsons.
Yeah, they're I fucking love them.
Met Danny. I
love them so much.
I've met the most incredible people. And it's not just about we have a common interest. It's about these are good, loving people that with a common interest.
Oh, it expands beyond bourbon though. So yeah, we met because of bourbon. Like the Ewalds foster dogs. I have so many dogs, and like they're so great. And the Robins, they're just fun people. And they're like, hey, we saw this and we thought you'd be interested. And they send me so many links to things. And I'm so grateful. And like we met so many good people because of bourbon. But it
because of bourbon.
That. But also like so. We have a Jack Daniel's trip coming up, but like people said, hey, I'm doing this on this day. Anyone want to join? And in the Facebook group, so many people joined this thing, which I think is so fun because it was like kind of like a choose, like Steve planned, like made it happen for Jack Daniel's, but the days around before or after was kind of like free time. So people said, hey, I'm doing this. And other people like, hey, I want to do that. And they showed up for the same tour times and booked your time. And you get to go hang out with these people at things that weren't an official event. I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah. It's huge. Yeah, I mean, not only did I book a distillery tour with KK and New Guy beforehand, and then I saw that McNew, you posted one that's happening on the way home, and I was like, oh, perfect. I'll join you guys in the tour on the way home. So it's like
slow roll going back home. So I'm like, it's on the way. Might as well go. Yeah. So I think it's so fun that people said, hey, you're going, I'll go too. Because you feel comfortable with these people because we know we have one common interest, maybe two or three when you start talking. I love that people get to be like, I'm doing this, come join me. And people do. And Steve, the community you created is so great.
Yeah.
Seriously, cool. I just want to put it out there that everyone I've met through everything ABV, they have been the most open and welcoming and accepting group of people I've ever met.
Yeah.
I can agree.
Come in and they're scared and they're nervous and they're like, I don't know anyone, but we have big open arms.
Right. Exactly.
And I love it. It's like, hey, I'm doing this. Please come. If you don't want to, whatever, fine. If you do, great. I'm so happy you're here. Like, I think that's the best vibe.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I agree.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So my take on Kathy, I mean, what she said is also right on. I mean, she started coming on those events and she's fun and she was involved in bourbon, going to distilleries and stuff like that, and involved in, had a collection and just involved in everything that a bourbon fan does. And I liked her from the beginning, and she would be part of that group that would go to Still 630. A lot of us would go to that every month, and that's part of the family of the ABV network, and we'd go and hang out there, and then I'd do those interviews, and it was just fun stuff. And then Kathy wanted to come on the show, and she's a great fit for it. And Kathy, I mean, I invite her all the time. And Kathy usually doesn't say no. To her credit, she's usually a yes, and which is awesome. So as someone who's trying to coordinate shows and stuff like that, sometimes someone gets busy and it'll be, it's not an ideal scenario when it's on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning when I'm like, hey, can you record Friday night? But sometimes it gets away from me. And yeah. So, but Kathy's always, willing to do that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just like Kathy. She's fun, normal person, and somebody you want to hang out with. So that's what the show's all about. She's a perfect fit for it.
And also someone that gives a shit. Like
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say that as both an ABV Barrel Shop customer and an ABV Network person. KK was probably one of the first people that I gravitated towards because she is just, I don't know, she had a good personality about her and very opening and approachable.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
She's just a good person.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm touched.
And McNew, the queen of the
now on
ABV
to
Network.
McNew.
Oh God.
We love you, KK.
Oh, thank you.
So McNew, how'd you end up on here?
I think it was an accident, really, like a happy accident. So we had followed each other on Instagram, and in 2017, I did the Bourbon Trail, and you're like, "Do you want to come on my podcast?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is," and I said, "Okay, great." Because all I was doing in 2017 was fucking hustling for my job, like trying to make it, trying to move up, was trying to be like corporate girly. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't do shit on Friday nights. I go home and I like drink by myself and I sleep. Let me come on a podcast. Let me talk to people. So, yeah, no, that happened. And the same night, I was just supposed to be a guest, right? Like I was just supposed to be a one-off, never talk to me again. You called me after and said, you were great. Do you want to be a co-host? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
It kind of escalated from there.
And how old were you?
I was 27 years old.
Fuck, I didn't know what I was doing when I was 27.
I'm waiting for that call. I'm 27 now.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I'm waiting for that day.
On Nieters, it's an old 20. You were an old 27. You have a wife and a kid. I was a young 27. I just had me and a cat. Me and a cat.
Me and a cat.
So I was doing a 27.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. I mean, so what McNew says is right. Again, everybody came on and said the truth. I mean, so McNew, and again, it's all set up this thing through Jefferson's. They started this club, and then because I had a media presence, they asked me to reach out to my audience and get some younger people. And so I did. I provided some names of younger people that I knew that were listeners and stuff like that. And then they're like, these are great. Well, also, we need females. And I'm like, I don't really reach out to younger females.
the Instagram.
I don't know how I don't know how my wife will feel about that.
Right, yeah, I'm reaching out to younger females.
So funny.
Right.
Chris and I had like been together, but not together for so long. So in summer of 2017, we did the Bourbon Trail together, but we weren't together. So he went on this whole adventure with me, and I was like, "Okay, we're not together, but we're together." And
right. I didn't know Chris, and they weren't. She didn't have a boyfriend or anything like that. As far as I know, I don't know what was going on with her and Chris. Yeah. So yeah, McNew comes on the show, and she had just done the Bourbon Trail. I thought, wow, how great is this? So we had it was almost like the America's Got Talent series we're getting ready to do. We just had a group of people that I didn't know that I invited on after the Jeffersons thing, and McNew comes on to that, and then McNew is funny because McNew is funny. That's an important thing of being on the show. McNew is funny.
I never try to be funny.
So
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is the
but
thing
you
about
are.
McNew. She is so authentic and owns everything, and she's smart and she understands the industry. I have so much respect for her as someone who is doing this job.
There is no replacement for McNew.
I know. No, there's
Zero.
not.
She is one of one.
At that my life though, like I was doing corporate training, like I was in front of people all the time, and I do think that helped me do well here, because I was like, this is what I gotta say, this is what I'm saying today, and I think it did help me,
Right.
But
We're not who we are without McNew. We're not who we are without Becca or
Nope.
Renee and Jeremy on the Bourbon Show. I mean, I do owe a lot to a lot of people. But McNew, I think, is the most important out of any of them. I mean, you look at the number of shows we've done together and stuff like that. Well over 1,000. I mean, it was 1,000 a year and a half ago or whatever it was now. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
I do want to say that Jeremy and Renee bring the class to the bourbon show. Like Becca and I could not do the bourbon show. Like we're not that serious. Like
Right.
I think Becca could do the bourbon show. I couldn't. I'm not that serious.
She had a totally different voice and attitude. I asked her to fill in one time on the
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Becca. Yeah.
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 This is a different
Doesn't
show.
matter.
It's a
It's a
whole
different
This
show.
one is every day of the week.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But
Don't
if you
don't
if you-
downgrade it.
no, I'm not. But I'm just saying, like their level is like up here. Like I feel like I'm so serious.
No,
Like,
stop
when I
it.
look at Jeremy and Renee and Steve, if you're like, oh, I'm just here for fun, you want to listen to me and Becca and Steve? Like that's fine. It's fine. I get it.
No,
But
don't. No.
let's go back to October 2017. So I invite McNew on. She hits it out of the park. Great series of 4 shows, and I was like, the show's ended. It's like 11:30 at night or something. But I know she's up because she just finished the show, and I had her phone number. That we had exchanged phone numbers when we started talking about shows and stuff like that. So I call her and I'm like, I need a co-host. Do you want to come on? Do you want to be a regular co-host? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, do you want to? It's every Friday night. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, I hung up and I was like, how in the fuck does this? What is a 27-year-old female who's single? Who's single? How the fuck is she going to come on every Friday night? This is not going to last. And here we are, almost 8 years later at this point. Yeah.
The smallest town ever, and I knew the people that went to the bars, and I'm like, I don't want to hang out with this people. I don't want to go to these bars. I don't want to hang out with these people. I will hang out in my house and drink bourbon and hang out with you. I would rather do that.
Yeah. It's a pretty big commitment. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I don't know how many Saturdays there are in the time that we've been together, but I would say we're probably at a 90% clip overall. I mean, there's certainly ones where we can't do because I'm usually got something going on.
Usually
There's a
it's
lot.
your schedule that you're traveling.
Right. It's very rare McNew will tell me she can't record on a given Friday because she clears those. So, yeah.
Hmm.
It's wild.
McNew is definitely a staple of the show at this point. You
Yes.
can't go on without her.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I feel like everyone loves McNew. Everyone looks forward to McNew.
God.
You can't.
Sometimes so there are shows that I don't remember, and I'm like, was I an ass? Was I good? Like, do people hate
I'm
me?
not gonna remember this.
You're not alone.
You're not going to remember
fine.
the show.
God,
Oh, we're not.
No, I won't.
Okay.
I have
Did we
to listen
even?
to
Did
it
we
to
pork pop
remember it.
yet?
Yes.
Oh, that happened.
Oh, we did.
Oh.
We should pour another. What else are we pouring?
Remember,
We
McNew
pork
did a
pop already?
McNew did
Did
a
we
bottle.
really?
She did a
Yeah.
bottle kill. Yeah.
Oh shit!
We did.
Yeah.
God,
A bottle
this-
kill?
McNew bottle killed. Now she's killing something else.
I need to find a bottle kill.
This is the one without a cork. It's my makers. So those tours were fun. How are about like not letting you do a slam dunk. They're really bossy about how you dip these bottles at
Oh
makers.
yeah, you're too bossy.
So how is your barrel? Is it a single barrel?
No, it's a batch.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not. It is a batch, but it's all at cask strength though. So their thing is it's a they put it out for like 6 months or so, and if you don't get in the 6 months, you get like lumped in for the next one, which is fine. It's a little spicier than the regular Maker's Mark. It's fine.
Okay. That's fine.
So,
Not sure where Von Nieters went.
he's pulling another
We're
bottle
here.
to pop.
We're here. We're here.
I have a question, Steve, about bringing people onto your show.
Uh-huh.
I would like to know the story about Danny coming onto your show.
Ooh.
Oh, Danny?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so Danny is an interesting character, and God, I love Danny, and I miss Danny, and yeah, that's a tough one for me. So Danny used to, how I met Danny was he started coming to when I did the Total Wine events, and this is a Jim Fosnot tie-in too. So very sad that they're both gone now. But when I had these shows, I used to be able to post flyers in Total Wine in Brentwood, which was Jim's store, and Danny was a shopper there just because he liked buying bourbon and stuff like that. And they would have these flyers up of these classes that I was doing. I would do classes twice a month at Total Wine in Brentwood, and Danny started attending every one. And he was a character because he would buy 2 tickets, him and his wife Misty, and Danny would drink both for both of the things. So whatever, if we're doing 5 samples, Danny's drinking 10 in the hour that we're doing the class because Misty doesn't drink. So he would, so he's just a character, and I liked the way he talked. I liked the fact that he had certain phrases.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. He'd repeat things and stuff like that, and then we have him on the show, and it's fucking gold. I mean, it's fucking gold. It's a character that's like worthy of being on like a national bourbon podcast. I mean, it's as big as someone to be on like a Howard Stern show. It's like where they find one of these just true characters, and I had that in Danny, and that's where we have all the bumpers and stuff like that. He loved it. He loved being on the shows. He loved the fact that he was kind of a mess on the shows. I mean, some people might be like, I don't want that. Boy, that was a bad one. No, he loved it. His coworkers would listen to it. He was part of the Public Works Department of St. Peter's, and the guys all loved it. And they'd listen to like, Danny, you were a freaking mess on that one. Because many times Danny didn't even finish the shows. He would pass out.
He'd
pass out and be head
Plain
down.
and simple.
Oh, great. Because he would just like pass out, take a nap, and come back and be like, you remember me here.
Right.
Come back for the ending. It was so good.
And we
Happy
do this.
Festivus.
Yeah, exactly. He wakes up out of nowhere after missing like 2 shows, sleeping on the show. It says Happy Festivus at the end of the
Yeah,
Festivus.
that makes the comeback every time.
Yeah. God, that guy, what comes out is funny. And Danny was funny. I mean, and what's funny about Danny is he wasn't doing bits. There's some people who want to come on and be like, I'm going to be funny on this show. I'm going to do this and this. No, that stuff is never funny because we're not professionals. A professional actor or comedian can take scripted material and make it funny. We can't do that. We're just normal people. So, but Danny would just, and then he'd be drunk and making up recipes or, texting him.
He would talk down over your couch.
How many ounces was the shot? 9 ounces?
Oh yeah, he had that Texas shot glass. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's in the shop now, right?
Yes, we have the original one in the shop, as well as the tumbling dice.
Oh my God.
Tumble dice.
Yeah,
Tumble dice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awful.
So Danny was just a character. That's how he gets on. That's how and I loved having that guy on. Yeah. And he loved it too. He loved any celebrity he got out of that. So yeah, it was funny.
No, I loved anytime I was like, Danny's on. It's going to be a fucking great Friday.
I know. Yeah.
Every time.
Remember, of course, Danny was with us throughout all the COVID stuff and stuff like that too. So I was doing a lot of Zoom events during that, and Danny would be on those, and then he'd get drunk and sometimes pass out on those and snore. And then he'd come to. We'd like, Danny, you fell asleep. He'd be like, no, I didn't. I'm like, Danny, you were snoring.
The denial
And
was
then
so.
Steve would be there like, yeah, he's right. You were snoring, Danny. He's like, I... he would act like he didn't fall asleep. He'd be out. But what's so funny is it just becomes normal. I mean, that's no one was rude or anything. And Danny, we'd be on an event, and Danny be, he'd have his hand crossed and his head down. No one thought anything of it. That's just Danny being Danny.
Yeah, no, but this became a thing with a lot of characters, though. We're like, hey, what, are they okay? Like, no, that's just what they do. Like J-Ro, like Leonard Kid or whatever. Like, no, that's just what they do. Like,
that's what they do. Yeah.
Some people being like, yeah, that's just them. And I feel like that we had that community where they felt comfortable enough to be like, yeah, well, it's kind of them. That's what they do.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's normal. That's being have Danny at an event or Danny on the show. So yeah. I was crushed when that guy passed away. Terrible. And then to lose the other friends, Rick and then
Legend.
Mitch, who was a regular at the show, and then Jim. My God, it's just terrible.
The loss of people has been insane.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, but there's some good for it because I think in the last year or so, I'm like, show up for people, whether it's a baby shower, wedding shower, things that I'm like, don't really want to go to that, but like, I think it made an imprint on me where it's important to show up. Where this is my Saturday is my free day. I'm going to show up for you. I think it's been important to me to be like, show up. I don't know if you're going to be here the next time.
Yeah.
that
I
made it
agree.
for me to do
Yeah.
that.
I've definitely felt the power of that. I've also, unfortunately, felt the weight of the world of keeping these folks,
Yeah.
the memories of them alive. I feel like that's a responsibility that I have. If I've got a way to talk about people, whether it's Danny or the legend or Jim, I felt personally responsible for keeping their legacy alive. And that's why the shop has dedications to those folks in the shop. And people ask about them. They're like, why is that Texas hat up there? Well, here's the deal on the Texas hat. You know, are you a Texas fan? I actually am not, but that'll
I'm
always
not.
be up there.
About
That hat will always be there. So yeah, so we talk about those things, and they're to me the memory of them, just a normal guy, just a normal person, not anybody who's on TV or a celebrity or an actor or something like that. They have the ability to be remembered, which I think is cool.
I think that Danny and the legend, and Jim especially, affected me personally more than any television personality ever did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. So
Good
like
personal interaction.
Yeah. I'm going to carry those three guys with me as long as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No, but people put so much gratitude into celebrity,
Right.
and they don't understand that the people that touched me the most,
Right.
like, Jim and I had a rough start. We were not friends.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came down to it, Jim Fosnaught was a fantastic human being.
that was like salt of the earth human being.
Yeah.
And I also like loss is hard. Like I never give a shit about losing anything until my dad, and that was 2021. And then it spiraled after that with all these guys. Like there's a lot of loss. And I told Chris, like New Year's this year, I'm like, I don't want to lose anybody this year. And then we lose Jim. I don't want to go to any more funerals. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. But like, it makes you be like, okay, well, we have these good memories. We had these good times. And it was like, you can't dwell on they're not here, but we had the best times when they were here. So it makes you change your perspective about how things happen. But
yeah. But I also catch some of that too. I feel the responsibility of curating events that become memories of the group hanging out and us being together. And that's the things that you remember. You remember your time with Jim when he attended the Moonshiner event that we did, or whatever it is. That's the way that gets. And I'm not talking about his family, his kids, and stuff like that. That's different. They're going to have all kinds of memories. But I mean, for the rest of us, a lot of it evolves around what we're doing at the ABV network. It revolves around that stuff. So I see the importance of that stuff and the importance of doing those things and getting out and so I feel a lot of responsibility with that stuff. It's
like I feel like you've done a good job with that, to be like, Jim and I started this, Jim and I did this, like, and we picked this, and you've done a good job of keeping his memory alive as a person, not a dead person. Like you've done a really good job with that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you've been on top of all of that stuff. Really? Like, I don't think you've slacked off at all. Like, you're 100% on all of that.
It's a delicate thing. It's a dance that you got to do because you want to keep Jim's memory alive. You want to keep it at the forefront, but you also don't want people to walk through the door and feel like there's a funeral going on there. This guy is this guy died. No, I want it to be a positive thing.
Super well. Done a good.
Yeah.
And if they see a photo on the wall and they like a new customer walks in and be like, hey, I want to try bourbon. They see a photo, you can tell that story. That's great. And you don't pick up the whole theme, but you can tell his story still. And I think that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's interesting is that, we're here in 2024 and we're talking about the people that have influenced us in bourbon. But if you think back in history, like Royce Neely's family has been influencing bourbon with love and loss for how many generations?
Right. Yeah.
11,
So
Yeah.
this is
10,
also
11,
who are
9.
11 generations. Yeah.
who are we influencing in future bourbon, right? Like they'll be like, hey, I listen to Bourbon Daily. I just found it and it's like 2028. We're like, I found McNew, I found Steve, I found KK, I found Von Nieters. Like, who are we influencing in the future?
Yeah.
At that
That's the
point,
important
hopefully no one.
That's the important thing.
I will influence you. I will take on the
I'm kidding.
mantle.
I'm totally kidding.
No. I feel, yeah, that at some point the stuff that we do, the fun stuff that we talk about, will be important down the road. And yeah, and all the interviews that we do, I think that's important. The movies that we make is important, and I think the store is important too. So, Darren's a big part of that. He's the future of that company. It's not me. I'm not the future of that company. I'm a short timer. Yeah, when you look at the scheme of things, in reality, what's going to make the ABV Barrel Shop is going to be Darren McCroy. I mean, that's going to be the guy who will take it into the future. If this is a company that it's a legacy company like Jim and I wanted it to be. It was never going to be made by Jim and I. We were too old when we got started with this thing, but Darren can make this thing where not only he does it for his entire career, and then it's something that gets passed on down there, and then it's something that goes on forever. Once you get to generation number 3 running it, hopefully it's set up to be where it'll go on forever, and that's what we'd love to see happen.
I really think you couldn't have picked a better person than Darren. Darren's great. You really took the best.
It's a lucky thing. It's a lucky thing. But, I don't know. Maybe you're good and maybe you're just lucky. And I've certainly had some bad picks in there too. There's been a few notable bad ones that I've had. But, I'm the guy who picked the team that's on here. I'm the guy who, found McNew, found Becca, and obviously the team here of our guest host. But Darren's key. Darren's key. He's the ABV Barrel Shop. I'm telling you, it's not me. I'm in charge for it right now for a short time. I'm curating this thing. I'm keeping it going. I'm trying to set it up.
Doesn't it feel good to get to a point in your life when you're like, I'm passing the torch?
Yeah.
Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you ready to pass on the torch?
Oh, not today, but sooner than maybe people think. I'll be. I look forward to the day where I've just got a cool place where I can hang out, and it's owned by Darren, not by me. It's owned by Darren. Yeah, it's Darren's place, and I'm walking in there and I'm complaining why I don't get to get on more barrel picks and stuff like that. Like people do.
You do the old posture. Like, why was I not invited?
Right. You didn't pick me for that one. I want to go with the old Louisville pick or whatever it is. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, Darren, if you're listening, I got hot hands and I'm ready to go.
He's listening.
Partner, there he's ready and willing, apparently.
No.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear that, you are where you're at in your I don't know how to say this. Your
journey, my personal
journey. Your personal journey in the industry, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
I am admirable.
So here's the thing that I'm going to say to you, Von Nieters.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm envious of you.
Of me.
Bourbon at such a young age.
Yeah, no, I was older when
Yeah.
young.
So your experience can be 10 times Steve's or anyone's experience because you're getting in so young.
By the time you're doing the stuff that Von Nieters is doing, I was already in my 50s. In reality, I mean, I was always a bourbon fan. I always liked to drink bourbon, but I was not doing podcasts. I wasn't doing stuff I wasn't discovering the finer stuff. When I was Von Nieters' age, I was still drinking Demon Coke and stuff like that.
No, seriously.
Yeah, but you can't compare that to that though, because you didn't have there wasn't podcasts.
We didn't have the access.
Yeah,
I could have been a writer. There's
can't
stuff
say
I could have
that.
been doing. There's stuff I could have been doing
Just
if I was a hustler.
take the compliment.
I mean, I'm taking the compliment, but
No,
at
you're
the
not.
same time, you're right. I'm not. You're right.
Yeah. With the exception of,
I don't know.
say Mike Veach and Chuck Cowdery, if I would have been serious about doing what I'm doing, I could have been like the third earliest bourbon writer and stuff like that are a part of the industry today. But I wasn't.
Yeah, but you're more of a writer, though. That's where I'm saying, like, don't juice me up just because I'm in it because I'm younger. Like, I'm not as much of a contributor that Steve is.
Don't minimalize your experience and your expertise.
It's like, if I were your age, I didn't have kids, I wasn't married, I would have been drinking like Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, just getting fucking trashed. You respect it at a way that I didn't, right? Like, I was trying to get drunk. I was not doing what you're doing.
There you go.
You respect it in a way that you want to have knowledge. You want to respect it. You want to tasting notes. You're doing better than I ever did.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
And on that note, we're gonna wrap.
That's nice.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. It's 3,000 plus shows in, and there's a little bit about the bourbon journeys of 3 people that are here. They're talking about how they got involved, and me giving the real story, which lined up pretty well with all 3 of them. So there you go. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Von Nieters, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me. Being so appreciative to Steve Akeley for inviting me onto these shows from the very beginning. KK's wisdom and advice, and I love KK. And McNew, she's got all the personality. I've talked to her many of times, and more than just on the podcast. And she's a great person. And I just want to say thank you for the whole network. Oh. And you can find me on Instagram at Von Nieters.
All right. KK.
You can find me on Instagram at KK Strength.
Oh, nice.
KK Cast Strength.
It's an up-and-coming channel on Instagram. All right, McNew, how about you?
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. Check out our classes and events. See what we have going on. We also have our current inventory out there, so you might want to look at that, see what we have, and then plan your trip. You'll know what you want to taste when you get there. On that note, McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps see people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For every other word was there, I think. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.